Hello, friends. You're listening to Coffee Chats with Miss Liz. This is a podcast where I sit down and I talk about things that are going on in my life, like faith, family, homeschooling, all the things that come with parenting and motherhood, basically. So if you are in the same boat that I am in, like bunch of kids and a pot of coffee, then sit down and let's have a chat.
Grab your coffee, stay a while, welcome in with every smile. Life gets messy, hearts get tired, but we keep lifting each other higher.
All right, let's talk about motherhood. This is a just a lighthearted, silly, fun episode. Nothing crazy. I guess I just want to tell you guys about what it's like being me in a day with my children, right? So let's see. Let's just start off in the morning. I usually wake up at 6, and I kind of get myself pulled together, and maybe I sit down and maybe try to do a devotional or something, but it usually doesn't work. And then my kids usually wake up at 6:30. So this is Monday through Friday, right? And then they get up and we do our whole little morning routine, which usually consists of going potty, getting dressed, brushing our teeth, hair, washing hands. And then at 7, we go into the basement because that's when kids usually start showing up. It's between 7 and 7:30, right? You gotta go wash your hands. Oh, your napkin. That's a good idea. Why don't you take it outside with you?
You want my hand?
Okay. You can go wash your hands.
No.
No?
She needs to wipe my hand.
Oh, okay. She said, I need to wipe my hand. She said, let me back that up. She said, me need to wipe my hand. I love you. Do you love me?
I love you to Saturn.
You love me to Saturn?
I love you to you, a moon.
To the moon? Oh. So then at 7, we head downstairs and we start welcoming some kids into the class. What I normally like to do is have the room ready the night before for the morning. But lately, it hasn't really been happening because it's been so nice outside and it's been so cold and yucky for so long that I'm just let's go outside, and I don't clean up the room. So I really need to start doing that. But I usually get the room all tidied up, And then I do breakfast. We usually try to eat breakfast at 8 and then be finished by 8:30, clean up, have everything all cleaned up and ready to go by 8:45 because I want to start circle time, right? Well, it's not really circle time anymore because a lot of our kids are getting older. So now it's just morning meeting. And when I'm ready at 9, we all stand up. We do our Pledge of Allegiance. We do a pledge to our Bible. And then we pick jobs. That's something new that we started in our class, is we pick jobs. The kids get to pick what they get to do for the day. And it's a lot of fun. I love seeing how the kids want to do multiple jobs, and they love doing new jobs. Some of them don't. Some of them always pick the same ones, but that's okay because kids love repetition. So then we do the jobs, and then whoever's the calendar helper gets to come up and do the calendar for everybody. So they get to do the month, the day of the week, the songs that go with them. They get to count. They get to use the pointer stick. And then when that's over, depending on the day, we will do like Thursdays and Fridays are always like show and tell days. We always do show and tell on those days. So we'll usually do that. But on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we usually do like a devotional, and maybe I'll read a book, or we'll talk about some things that we're about to be learning. Maybe we'll sing some songs, and I'll let the kids pick the songs that we sing. And then after that, everybody is to go get their tracing book. So everybody has like a little book, and the curriculum that we use the Good and the Beautiful. I am not sponsored, but we use the Good and the Beautiful curriculum. So everybody has a little tracing book. It's like a handwriting book, and they get to trace dotted lines, and then they get to color it. And it just helps them learn how to use a pencil, learn to follow the lines, learn to color in the lines. So everybody gets to do that. And while they're starting that, I start doing one-on-one lessons with each kid. And what's so great about this curriculum is that it is an open and go book, right? Hey, Jules, where's Laura? Where's Laura? Can you go see her? Where is she? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so it's an open and go curriculum, which is so nice. So I just open the book and I read what it says. Most of the time, you don't even need any kind of material, which is awesome. I love that. I just bought some material for it, which wasn't very much. It was like some buttons, some feathers, some brads. I mean, everybody did have to have like crayons, colored pencils, markers, glue sticks, scissors, like things like that, right? So we did that, but like for the actual book, we didn't really have to do anything. For the kindergarten curriculum, I did buy a bunch of first-time reader books through the Good and Beautiful, and they're like perfect. So we've been using that. But for the preschool, you didn't have to buy any extra books. But I did buy some of their like younger kid chapter books. Like one set that we bought was called like Crooked Creek Ranch. Kids love this book. They were laughing. They didn't want me to stop reading. It was so good. So we read both of those in the series. And then we read something else. Maybe like it was a book about a mouse that lived on Mouse Island. I don't know. Kids really liked that book too. And then we read, I think that was it. And now we're reading Because of Winn-Dixie. And the kids love that, but it's taking a little bit longer to read. And so what we do is during like, let me just wait. So I get all like jumbled up when things aren't written down for me, right? So I do one-on-one lessons with all the kids. So I just sit down. Some of the kids are on the same lesson, so I'll do both of them at the same time. The math lessons are easier to do that with. I'll just like do both of them while they're sitting together. It's just somebody, every time I'm trying to do this, somebody's out mowing their lawn today. So anyways, where was I going? See, this is why I write everything down. I didn't, because honestly, I like the way my podcast sounds better when I don't write everything down, when I don't have like a script. I just think it sounds better. I think it sounds more like we're sitting across the table from each other having a cup of coffee, right? Like, and that's the whole point of this, is coffee chats with Miss Liz. So, all right. The math curriculum, we can all sit down and do the same one at the same time. Like, that's super easy. But the language arts one, I like to do independently. So we do that. And that's usually from like 9:30 to 10:30. And then we head outside. So like we do have other ages in my class. So I have like a 6-year-old, maybe a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, you know, like in that kind of range. So if one of them is doing their lesson, the other ones are always wanting to do lessons too, and I can't. So what they do is they either sit at the table with paper and their crayon box, and then they get to put headphones on and they get to listen to a short story and draw and color something while they're listening to this story. Kids love doing that. The other thing that we do is we do cutting practice. So I'll give the younger kids a piece of paper that has like dotted lines, and I give them very clear instructions, like you are only to cut on the dotted lines, don't cut on the pictures, you know. And then they sit there and they do their very best, and they do so well. I'm so impressed with them. So then after all of that, we head outside. Everybody gets to play outside. And lately we've been doing like 10:30 to about 11:20 outside. Like I really just want them outside as much as possible. It's so good for them to have this vitamin D, to get out, run around, get tired, you know, work their like physical muscles instead of just their brain muscle, right? So they go outside and they run around, and sometimes we'll play games. Past couple of days I've been walking with everybody. What's up, girl? What do you want? Huh? I put all the food away because I want to make sure you eat dinner. Oh, such a mean mommy. Huh? Not right now. She stomped all the way to her room. All the way to her room. Slammed the door. Oh, this girl. What, Laura? Oh, Benjamin. I came out here to sit with you and you're going to be all pouty? Don't do that. Sweet boy. Aww. So anyways, lately I've been walking around the yard with the kids, and so I'll like just do laps around my backyard, and it's been really nice because it's been so nice outside, and it just feels good to like get my body moving because I haven't been able to do that like all winter long, and that's really been hard on me like mentally. And I'm sure everybody that drives by is like watching me just like walk circles around my yard, like what is this lady doing? You want to say hi? Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Don't be shy. It's just a phone. There ain't even nobody there. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. That's my daughter, Laura. Sweet little girl. Yeah. Go play with the fairy garden and all of the flowers over there. Or we can go inside and you can watch TV. Which one? You want to go inside? Oh, okay. Go play with the fairy garden. You got peanut butter all over your face. You done pouting? All right. Go play with the fairy garden with your sister. Anyways, yeah, so we then at like 11:20 we come inside and we eat lunch, and I always have the kids help me with everything. Like half of the kids want to even serve the food, and I'm like, you know what, that's fine, I don't care. So they all pass out plates, they all set the table, they all work together, and they pass everything out, and then we have a prayer leader, and they say this little prayer. I let them pick. We have 3 prayers that they like to say. We have the Our Father prayer, and then we have 2 like small canned prayers, that are just real simple for little kids. And then while they're eating, that's when I read. Like right now I'm reading the Winn-Dixie book. That's usually when I read, is at lunchtime. Like after I get everybody all set up, I'll sit down and I'll read to them, and they get to serve themselves. And it's just so nice. And they have nothing else to do but sit there and listen to me read. And half the time they love it. And I'll be like, all right, that's it. Chapter's over. And they'll be like, can you read another one? I'm like, okay. I never say no, never. But then at like 12:15, we usually get ready for a nap. Half the kids nap, half the kids don't nap, right? So all the kids have to sit down quietly. I put like a story on, like a small, I don't know, like Disney story usually. And they all lay down on their mats. The half of the kids that don't nap, they get to sit on beanbag chairs, but they have to sit quietly. And they all just sit there until about like 1 o'clock, I'd say. Well, I would say probably like 12:40. 12:40, I let the big kids go like to the other side of the basement, where like I have the pack and plays and stuff, and where my washing machine is, and they get to play with like puzzles and toys and stuff on that side. And then I stay over with the younger kids who are napping, and I help them nap, like I rub their backs or hum to them, sing to them, things like that. And then at 1 o'clock, we usually come upstairs, and anybody who didn't finish their lesson earlier, we finish that now when we're upstairs at nap time. If it's raining outside, we play games. Like they love Uno Attack right now. They love that game. Or Candyland or something like that. Or we play outside. If it's really nice, I'm like, just go outside and play. But if it's kind of like crappy, cold, windy, rainy, whatever, we just play board games. And then at 2:30, we go downstairs and wake the kids back up. All the kids help clean up nap time. They all put their blankets and the mats away. And then they help me with snack. I'll get ready for snack. And while they're eating snack, I read again. And then when the snack is over, we head outside. And then we play outside typically until it's time for pickup, which is usually around like 4:30. Between like 4:30 and 5, right? And that's our day. But sometimes it doesn't always go that well. Like if we're outside playing and it's really nice and the kids start waking up, they'll just come upstairs and come outside. And then I never go back downstairs. I never go back downstairs and clean up. And then the next morning I'll go downstairs to open up the daycare, and it's like all the mats are still out. All the blankets are still out. Snack is still out on the table. The trash wasn't taken out. Nothing was sprayed. I'm like, whoo. So I really need to get back in the groove on that. Like make sure that I go back downstairs at 2:30 to wake the kids up and do all of that, right? So we'll see. One fun thing is that recently we got a greenhouse outside, and that's been a lot of fun. We got a couple of raised beds that we've been putting some stuff in. Another thing that's really cool is that we got some pets. Like, I'm not going to tell you what pets yet. You'll have to come back for the next episode to find out what pets we got for the classroom and why I even got pets, right? Why I even got the garden, the greenhouse, and all of that. But I guess like why I just wanted to share this was because when I first started this, I had a moment where I was like, God, am I supposed to be doing this? Like things weren't going so well. Everybody was getting sick. It was like bam, 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 bam. Everything was happening all at once. And I was like, I think I should just shut down. Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. And it was so hard for me. I felt like everybody was mad at me because their kids were getting sick. And I was like, I was just praying so hard. And I was like, God, what am I to do? What am I to do? And then Easter was coming around. And I was pregnant with my son. And I was on Teachers Pay Teachers trying to find some curriculum. Something to do. Something to do for Easter for the kids. And this really nice thing popped up, and it was like all about Jesus, right? I never felt qualified to teach the kids about Jesus. Like, we prayed, but that was about it, right? And I don't know, I felt like I wasn't smart enough. I didn't know enough. I didn't want to teach the kids the wrong thing. But I really felt called to do this. And it was so cheap. I think it was only $3. And I was like, what's $3? And all I'm going to do is support another mom or another teacher or something. So I bought it. And it was such a good curriculum. It was such a good lesson. And all the kids learned so much. Even now, they remember that Jesus rode in on a donkey and everybody said Hosanna. They all remember that. But as soon as I started incorporating Jesus into the daycare, things changed. What's up? That's fine. Where's Laura at? You're not allowed to leave your sister out there by herself. You understand me? All right. Laura, Julia's coming in the house. Why don't you come in too and you can watch something on TV and we'll get ready for dinner. Okay. You guys have been outside all day. It's time to rest your bones. Okay, anyways. It was like everything changed once I started incorporating Jesus into our day. It was so crazy how everything just flipped. Things started going better. Like, God was putting people in my life, right? Listen to me. I will find you something to eat. Can you go sit down? Thank you. Go sit down. I will find you something to eat. Thank you. But yeah, he started putting people into my life. He, the kids stopped getting so sick all the time. Things were just changing. And I was like, this is nuts. Like, I cannot believe this is happening right now, just from one little lesson, right? And then, it pushed me to start doing some more research. So I found this lady who was homeschooling, and I bought one of her books. I had been doing a study, one of her studies with the moms group that I used to go to all the time. And I found out that she had some homeschool curriculum. So I bought it and I was like, this is great. This is great. So we started doing that, and we started singing songs about Jesus, and all we listened to is worship music, and it's just been so good. So good. I just feel like being obedient is what changed everything for us. By listening to God and incorporating and stop being afraid and start letting him work through me, that's when things changed. That's when everything changed. He was like, just do as I say and all this is going to stop. And I never listened. And none of us ever do listen, right? Like, we always blow everything off. I don't know. I feel like I start to ramble sometimes, but I just need you to know that everything I do is because everything that has happened to me is because I was obedient one time. It's just made everything so much better, and I strive to keep doing that. You wouldn't believe the things that happened So one family, they're a great family. I love them so much, but like they didn't really pray. They didn't really go to church. If they did, it was just to go to church. You know what I mean? Like nothing in depth, I guess you would say. And then their child was coming to me and I was praying, and they started praying at home because she was requesting it. And the same with all these other kids. Like they want to be the ones that lead the prayer at home. They're like, I want to pray. And they're like teaching their parents these prayers. And I'm just like, this is so cool. Like I'm planting this little seed in these little kids, and they are going home and making it blossom. And it is just heartwarming. So even if you think that it's something so small and it probably isn't significant, think again, because it probably is. But that's all that I have. I know I kind of went on a rant there, I guess you would say, a tangent, but I seriously thank God every single day for what he's done for me. I'm just so glad that one day I found that lesson on Teachers Pay Teachers and that I followed through with my gut feeling. I was so scared that everybody that was coming here was going to be like, I don't want you to watch my kids anymore because I don't want you to teach them about that. And none of that happened. None of it. Oh, God is so good. All right, so I'll pray and then I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you for coming and listening to me talk over some coffee. All right, here we go. Oh, Jesus, thank you. Thank you for coming into my life and making it whole. Thank you for filling the void, God. Oh, thank you. You are so good. Thank you for making my daycare what it is today. Thank you for pushing me to be more than what I wanted to be. God, just be with all the listeners. Help them listen. Help them hear the Holy Spirit and know what the Holy Spirit is pushing them to do. Help them ask the right questions and hear the right answers. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you, friends, for joining me today and staying through to the end. I really appreciate it. Every listen, every like, every follow means so much to me. I'm working so hard to keep this going. So if you could make sure you share it with your friends, like it, leave a review, and I'll shout you out. But just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then I'll see you next week for another episode of Coffee Chats with Miss Liz.
My heart, we're all just figuring it out, holding on to peace and grace. Through the chaos and the beauty, there's still goodness every day. So stay a while, you're safe right here with me. For grace and truth